The cylons, you know, we've all had nightmares about cylons.
Most of my experience with the cylons was purely in battle. When you see one, you blow it up.
Those uniforms were vacuum-formed. It was plastic, and it was a mirrored plastic. And the only thing they could wear underneath it was a leotard. There wasn't much room for anything else. They were wrapped in the plastic, you know. They made a lot of noise walking around, too.
Of course, the cylons were a wonderful conceit, you know, to have these robotic characters and mirrored. But the problem was, of course, you could always see the camera reflected back. So I had to be so careful of how you lit them and where we put the camera and how we blacked out the camera so you didn't see the reflections. But I don't think it was any easier to shoot them than it was to live in one of those suits.
Those Cylons uniforms were not comfortable to be in. Many times we had to stop shooting so that people could take those darn helmets off and breathe.
The biggest complaint was getting in and out of that Cylon costume. It seemed like somebody always had to pee in those suits, you know, and they couldn't get out of anything, and they were hot.
They had to be in those extraordinarily hot outfits, so they had to drink a lot of water in order to compensate for the heat, which is why every 5 seconds they were having to run to the bathroom. It would take them forever to get out of those costumes.
But they were all stuntmen. Yeah, they had to be because of the pyrotechnics that they were wearing.
3, 4, 5. Caution!
They hired stuntmen, ball players, basketball, football players, all 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", great shape. And by the time they got into the body armor and the helmet, they were all a menacing 7 feet tall.
Can I scoot just a little more? Oh, there we go. This is the one. Now oops, yeah, there, okay.
Their viewing area was limited to a small slit just under that scanner. And they could only see about 2 or 3 feet in front of them.
They fell down really well, though. They tripped a lot.
I can remember so many takes they would be just walking and, you know, just crash, you know, and so you'd have to stop and kind of clear everything out of their path so they wouldn't fall. But they did look pretty good on film, you know, once it was all put together.
And if we had to shoot on location, which we only did a few times, it was hard for them to be walking around in those things.
The young lords, where the Cylons are chasing me through the swamp, and a Cylon almost drowned because they're coming across, and he fell down in the water. By the time they got there, he couldn't get back up. And we had that whole shootout and that run and that escape. And they're up on the parapet, and they're coming down the stairs. And of course, they had just that little slit so they couldn't see. So you'd hear them talking, how many steps? But they're coming down, and the lead Cylon trips. And it's dominoes. They go boom, boom, boom. Of course, they could have broken bones. And we're laughing so hard. Chris and Ivy can't even say cut.
These guys would walk along in a phalanx, you know, like about 4 across and about 6 or 8 deep, but they couldn't see doodly. So if you stuck your foot out and you tripped one, they'd all go down, man, like a house of cards.
One time, one fell over, hit the next Cylon, knocked him over, hit the next Cylon, and we had a whole row of Cylons go tumbling down on the ground.
A couple of times, if they had to round a corner, they would smack into the corner and fall down without ever having been shot. We had to start it over again. But they were sometimes pretty hilarious. When they explode, they kind of do this and then plop down. And we ran out of uniforms. We killed off so many of them. I can't even tell you how many we did. Finally, one of the UPMs came to me and said, "We're out of money. We can't kill any more Cylons." We then would take a piece of one Cylon and a piece of another Cylon and make a new Cylon out of it. Joe Goss, I think, was our special effects man, and he just blew the devil out of all of them.